And January, you said it earlier too, that this is actually set in the Philippines. Talk a little bit about the research that you did and the trips that you took to the Philippines. Because some of those visuals, if you've ever been to the Philippines, like the phone wires, the islands, the color of the water, like it's spot on. So tell us a little bit about that.
With pleasure. Obviously, we take this trip for the reason of the setting of the Philippines and having the crew come with us to experience the culture that Joel and I grew up with me being Filipino American in my family, Joel, your wife Kathy being Filipina, your kids being Filipina, and we wanted to take their crew, producer Mark Swift, production designer Ryan Carlson, art director Chris Grunn, because obviously we want them to experience firsthand the beautiful world and culture of the Philippines. So that was one, angle, and the other angle, of course, is that personal connection. So when Joel and I were writing this, my dad, who had passed away a few years ago from pancreatic cancer, but when Joel and I were writing this, my dad was sick and I was at home with my dad, and we were working on the script together. And I remember just, I was showing my dad early ideas and having him help me with Tagalog. And me and my sister are joking. He's like, "That's not right, Januel." It's like, "Why did you teach me when I was younger?" But the idea of again, going back to the Philippines, where I've spent time with my family, and my mom and dad always took me and my sister. We hadn't been back since Dad passed away, and so that was also an important thing to go there, reconnect. We had a big family reunion, and it was also very emotional for my family over there because we obviously didn't even see each other when Dad passed away. So we got to not only celebrate this movie that we're making, but celebrate my dad, and then to have Joel and his wife and his family and the crew be there with our family and celebrate it together and be welcomed by my family. Again, that continued to just inspire the beating heart of this movie, which is making memories with the ones you love and solidifying those connections.
Yeah, and as Januel mentioned, my wife is Filipina, and she was born in the Philippines and lived there till she was 9. And she actually hadn't been back until this research trip. And it was a wonderful thing. Januel's, all his family out there in the Philippines, they threw a big block party for us. There's lots of karaoke, lots of food. Yeah. And it was so nice. They invited my wife's family from another town over to come to this party. And for me, all the inspiration from the research trip of seeing the beautiful locations in the Philippines were wonderful, but it was the spirit of what that trip was that stuck with us. Seeing my wife be able to be reunited with family that she hadn't seen, in over 30 years, it was so impactful, and I think that's a big thing that has stuck with us about memories and those moments we make.
I want to come to you, Gabby and Liza. What was it like to get a script that is just, a beautiful story about friendship, but also so deeply entrenched in Filipino, mythology and folklore? Gabby?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited. You have no idea. We were in the Philippines in 2019, and my mom was literally trying to scare us, talking about Manananggal and all these other stories. I literally grew up on them. So I just thought it was so cool. It was I get to share a piece of my childhood in this work and with the world. That's so cool. That's super rewarding to me.
Liza?
Yeah, for me it was super exciting too, because it's been a long time dream of mine to be able to be in a project that really represented the Philippines in a very accurate way, but at the same time is universal enough for people outside of Filipinos and the Philippines to be able to relate to. And aside from that, just to have Filipino culture displayed or showcased by a major studio, I think is very, very exciting, because we don't really get that often. So it meant a lot to me. I was very, very excited and very honored to be part of this project.
To that, what was it like, in the trailer when the portal is actually the sun, which is so symbolic of of the Philippines? What was that like for both of you to see that on screen just now?
Like the first time I saw it, I cried. Like I literally cried because I was just like imagining all the children like in the Philippines and what they would feel when they see it, and just how proud they would feel to see something that beautiful representing our culture and our country on the big screen. It just felt like such a big moment. And yeah, I'm really excited for all the kids to see it.
Same. I mean, Filipinos are very proud to be Filipino. And I think that, like you said, we haven't gotten many big platforms to show our culture. Like people always have asked me, and I'm from the Bay Area, so I grew up around a lot of Filipinos. But as soon as I left, like I moved to New York and I was around the world, like there aren't that many people that know about what we're about, and also don't realize how similar we are to other cultures in our values, like family and friendship. And so to see the sun, which is such a big deal, like it's a big symbol for us. It does something different to see it in a film. Like, we see it when we see some of our Filipino heroes, but like to see it in a film, like you said, for kids, it just hits different, and it's definitely very emotional, and it's very special.
I want to come back to something you said in a second, but Joel and January, I've got to ask you, 1990s, like why that specific time period? I love it. I'm living for it. But tell us what made you choose that era.
Yeah, the 90s are kind of our formative years, right, Joel? We're like 40 plus years young, right? We're not old. We've just been young longer than Gabby and
everyone.
No, but there's something, again, when it comes to storytelling, Joel and I always, have our roots in what is authentic to our experience that we could communicate through our storytelling, that we trust audiences, no matter who you are, where you're from, that you will connect on an authentic human level. And again, just for us to spend our years growing up in the 90s where we found like the fashion and style and then the experiences with the friends that we make, the lifelong friends, there's a seed of nostalgia there for us that easily activates, I think, relatability, because we always feel that like if you feel kind of what we're feeling, you'll connect to that and remember what's nostalgic for you, whether or not it is the 90s. And then, Joel, do you want to talk about even the specific things in the 90s that we love, and even that experience that kind of caters to even the storytelling of our movie?
Yeah, because I think as Daniel and I were developing this story, we were like that, in a way, the more specific something is, it'll be universally acceptable and accessible to all audiences. And so we just kept drawing on what was formative for us. And so much of the 90s, especially telling a story about friends growing apart and it feeling like it's going to be final. When a friend is going off to college, will you see them again? Will they forget you?
Can't just FaceTime.
You can't FaceTime. And that was the thing about setting into the 90s in our experience, where there was something temporal and temporary. But in that temporal, things become special. And even you think about photos, like Polaroids are a big part of this movie. And for us, they're, you think about a Polaroid pack and you've got, 12 pictures, and you're going to be very specific how you use them, versus now we have phones and how you take a bunch of pictures and do you ever look at them again? Or developing film. And so a lot of those things in the 90s for us are really about tapping into nostalgia, but also reinforcing the stakes of this movie, which are about moments and memories.